every precious dollar diverted from the frivolity of fitting in, bringing us closer to the middle class. At the grocery store, my mother paused in each aisle as she sifted through the stack of coupons she'd dutifully harvested from the mail. Often, by a trick of sales and double coupons, the store owed her cash at the register. It had seemed like a triumph, however measly, over the system. Now we entered a cavern of dresses arranged by color, the fabrics a rustling hedge of satin and silk. I had never liked frills, to my mother's frustration. Warmth crept up my cheeks. I felt as though I were choosing lingerie in front of an audience. "My bridemaid wearing pink, purple," my mother told Greta. She tapped her phone, enlarged the Pinterest image. Brian must have shown her how to use the app, and held the screen aloft. "I think long dress. My daughter like a size 6. 10, I amended. "So pretty," said Greta, nodding at the screen. "Any preference in neckline?" "Not strapless," I said, my words colliding with my mother's. "No straps." Greta laughed, exposing a long incisor. "Opinionated women! Okay, let me just grab a couple of dresses that I think you'll adore, and I'll meet you in the dressing room." The private room had a trifold mirror at one end and a padded bench at the other. My mother set down her bag and began walking heel-toe toward her reflection, her body contoured by performance wear. I'd only been back in California for a week, and I was still adjusting to the new Marissa Cheng. This woman was happier than the one I'd grown up with, more robust. This woman was empowered and had means, or at least she would be marrying her means atop a seaside bluff come August. With her new fiancé, she sailed under the Golden Gate Bridge, hiked, climbed sandstone boulders, ran loops in the Oakland hills. All things unimaginable for the Marissa I knew, who had spent her spare hours cleaning the house and watching television, a bottle of wine beside her. But now, as she described her recent outings with Brian, my gaze grew slack, and her face separated into two overlapping orbs. Then I studied the unfamiliar features. It wasn't that the nose had grown or the lips had migrated. It was that I was seeing her from the perspective of a stranger, as if for the first time. There were, of course, real physical changes. At 53, my mother had always been petite, but now she was trim, her hair smartly angled toward her jaw. Her recent weight loss had revealed the delicate planes of her face, like petals flaking away from a shrouded bud. She had traded her mom capris and department store blouses for athletic gear. In her spandex pants and fleece half-zips, she looked sporty and self-possessed, the type of woman who might race up a switchback with a mantra pulsing in her chest. "If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you." I missed the old Marissa. At least she would have provided a dreary comfort. As we waited, she swept a strand of hair from her face, then flinched and swore. "What's wrong?" I asked. "It's my bracelet," she said in Mandarin, holding out her wrist so that I could see the matte black band. Someone could mistake it for a minimalist watch. It had a square screen that glowed green when she tapped it, revealing a countdown. "It gives me a shock if my hand gets too close to my mouth during fasting hours. I still have an hour and 14 minutes until lunch. I can also deliver manual shocks if I'm about to make a bad decision. Have a cupcake, for example." She paused. "Or have a drink." I looked at her, aghast. "I'm sorry, it shocks you? Why would you do that to yourself?" "To be more disciplined," she said matter-of-factly. "I sized down for my wedding dress, you know. It has to fit." She encircled one wrist with the other hand, touching the middle finger and thumb together, and then moved to measure my forearm too. "Mom, that's awful." I shook her off. "You don't need to lose any more weight."